Welcome back to Resource SA. I'm here. I'm Melanie McCoy. I'm here with Ariel Dragana and Alantheus Thompson, and we're going to be talking about resources for the military-connected community. I know over the week we heard a lot about from subject matter experts who were telling us about what they do and how they can support. But now we're going to hear about the array of programming that's available to the military-connected community. So we're going to be talking about the MilVet, and we're going to be talking about the IVMF. And so, Alan, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do, and let's start on the MilVet.
Okay, Alan Thompson, founder of Grow Solutions. We integrate with gym software and camera systems to track and gamify individual member activity. This is the idea that I've been working on for a long time. And we formed as a company in 2023. Shortly after, in February of 2024, I found myself pitching at the MilVet conference. Not on the primary stage, on the secondary stage. It was quite the experience, but what I really took away from that was the MilVet organization itself. At the time, I think they're in their third or fourth year, but you wouldn't have been able to tell it. You would think that they've been doing it for 10 years. It was a really well put together event and conference. And I got to know Tim over the years, who runs the MilVet. What the MilVet is, so there's many kind of aspects of the MilVet. There's the MilVet recruiting and executive talent placement for veterans transitioning out of the military. There's the MilVet conference, which is the pitch competition that I attended for entrepreneurs and startups. And then Tim also has Context VC, which is a venture capital firm that supports the MilVet conference. So there's a wide array of things there that we can dig into as we go through, but that's in a nutshell what they do.
Awesome. And you found it very valuable to attend and go through that process?
Yeah, I found it extremely valuable. The pitch competition was a great experience. Like I said, I wasn't on the primary. I didn't get on the primary stage. I was on the secondary. You guys will probably get a kick out of this story. So first time pitching, first time founder, first time pitching at this big established event. And it's on a secondary stage. There's, tons of things happening, movements happening, speakers, sessions changing place. And they say, hey, you're going to be pitching right after this session. Just get up there and start pitching. We're not really going to introduce you or anything. Just start pitching. And I said, okay. So the session ends. And of course, after a session ends, what do people do? They talk, they network, they start moving into the halls, things like that. So as all this hustle and bustle is going on, I get up there to pitch, and I'm just pitching over nothing. Right? Well, not nothing, over noise and chaos. And it, as bad of an experience as it sounds, it can't get worse from here, right? Mm-hmm. And that for me was actually a great experience because it really helped frame my mindset going forward. And since then I've done other pitch competitions where it has not been that bad. And it was only, I'm not throwing shade at the MilVet conference at all. It was only that way because it was a secondary stage, and they're trying to get the veteran companies as much exposure as possible outside of the primary pitch. So all the credit to them for doing that, and I appreciate that so much. But then outside of that, the networking that they had, the caliber of speakers that they had at the session, very successful veteran-owned companies like Black Rifle Coffee Company, established VC firms looking to invest in veteran-owned companies, and then established companies looking to support veteran entrepreneur businesses. So out of that, it was great. It was a great networking experience. It was in San Francisco, which I'd never been before, so that was also a great experience. Overall, I really loved it, and I was really impressed with the MilVet team.
So is this a conference for just veterans or also for mil spouses?
Oh, they're definitely for veteran and military connected. So mil spouses were there. In fact, I think one of the runner-up winners, second or third place, was a mil spouse company. I can't remember what she did, but yeah, definitely male spouse represented.
Is there a cost associated with this conference?
For me, I applied to go pitch, got accepted as a secondary. So there was no ticket cost for that, but then the air travel and hotel setup. I do think there is a cost outside of that if you go as a regular attendee. I think it's a couple $100, but you can just Google the MilVet conference and find out.
Okay, awesome. Last question. Any stage of the business you're starting, you're in growth stage, when would you recommend somebody would go to that conference?
I would say go now because your network is your net worth. The sooner you can connect with veteran-owned companies, veteran organizations that support veteran-owned companies, the better, because it takes time. You're not just going to go in there and everyone's going to be like, oh, you're a vet, like awesome. It still takes time. Being a vet helps, but you got to show your face consistently. You got to build a presence. They got to know that you're not going anywhere, that you're serious. And you know, like anything in life, you got to build a relationship. Veterans are special because we start with that bond of trust, and that really helps accelerate things along, but you still got to put in the effort. So
like what you said, your network is your net worth, right? So MilVet is an opportunity to go build a connection. Also the IVMF. I'd like to get Ariel's thought on your network is your net worth. And if you have any advice on how to build that network.
Absolutely. So just very quickly, my name is Ariel Durgana. I'm the program manager of the Ambassador Program through the IVMF. And yeah, just like what you were saying, it's very much about who you know and how you know them these days, right? And it could be a very casual conversation that you have during these next couple days that can lead to opportunities or a wealth of knowledge that is worth its weight in gold, and mentorship. Like the people that you find in your network, they will help you build and scale and ideate to the point where you're building success, not even just based off of sponsorship dollars, but based off of mentorship opportunities and meeting who they know and getting a part of their networking. Alan and Melanie are ambassadors for the program. So getting involved with military connected events and conferences and meeting everyone that you can, like those are the ways that you're really building your network, meeting people you can that have shared passions and shared interests. And that's how you really build wealth of knowledge.
Can I say something? Absolutely. I've actually been building my relationship with the IVMF for almost 8 years now. I first got involved in 2017 through the EBV program, which I'm sure you can touch on. And then since then, Entrepreneur in Residence, and now the Brand Ambassador Program. IVMF is really a great organization. And thank you for being a part of that. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ariel. You've been great. My time in the Ambassador Program, I just feel like I've expanded so much in opportunity and also network and connection. Like today, we're streaming through Veteran Social Summit, and that's Ryan Hunt out of Chicago, your city, right? And have Henry here. And it wasn't for that network and connection, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing today. And we're trying to expand that in San Antonio through Resource SA. So I think it's really about creating community and network, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit more. But now I want to ask you about the IVMF.
Sure.
You've mentioned you run the Ambassador Program, which is an awesome program. Tell us a little bit about some of the key things that you hope that participants get out of the program and put into the program.
Yeah. So what I hope that participants get out of the program is really taking advantage of everything that it has. And that is meeting everyone you can, going to all the events that you can so that you're continuing to build your network and meet more people. Getting knowledge of where the gaps are in your community. That's what our ambassadors really focus on, and really tailoring what content and events that can really help shorten that gap for the military connected families and military members that we have in these communities. I hope that people can take out, the networking, and more than ever, this cohort of ambassadors have done the most cross collaboration I've ever seen. And we have people from Houston and Chicago coming into San Antonio. We had people from Jacksonville and Atlanta going to Vets Fest. We had Chicago going everywhere, Indiana. Everyone is cross-populating in each other's communities, and that's what's building such a rich environment for our ambassadors and our military-connected members, because the connections they're making is not just local to where they are. They're getting connections that are outside of their communities that can also benefit them in ways in terms of like knowledge and mentorship. And it's not just contained locally, but it's giving them the stepping points that they need to succeed.
Awesome, thank you. I have a question about how do you get involved in the ambassadorship, right? Who should get involved? What kind of candidates are you looking for? Can you tell us a little bit more about, for who's watching online or here, who's interested in serving?
Absolutely. So right now we have 60 ambassadors in about 30 cities across the country. And who we're really looking for are passionate, engaged, well-connected leaders in your community. And leaders is a very broad term. That doesn't mean you have to be leading an organization. That does not mean you have to be the president or CEO of a company. It just means that you have the passion and interest to build a community for military connected entrepreneurs and veterans. So really we're looking for people who just want to continue to build on this work and create that community of networks so that people are engaged and they feel connected to the work and they feel like they're a part of something.
So thank you. We talked about a little bit programming, and we have Blake Petty coming in from Texas A&M Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veteran on Friday.
Oh, great.
So I know you guys are running that all across the country. Can you tell us a little bit about the program and kind of what the thought is behind the program and when someone should participate in the program?
The EBV program?
Yes.
So you actually could talk about this a little more, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to let you talk about EBV because you've been part of the program. So you have the ins and outs and the tips and tricks of who you're looking for and who you worked with in the past.
Sure. I would say that over the years, the EBV program has like evolved, and I think IVMF has done a really good job of creating a like funnel structure through the EBV program. I would say that structure looks like EBV regular. It's kind of like this not quite ideation phase, or actually let's start at the top of the funnel. There's the new, what is it called? Military Founders Lab.
Military Founders Lab, yep.
Right, so that would be like, say, the very top of the funnel. You're in ideation, or maybe even like you have a established company already. You get connected in to people in the same level as that, mentors, early connections. As you really put in the effort and develop that idea, you move into EBV, which is not ideation, but you're not in growth yet, but you're really like showing signs that you're committed to this and like it's going to happen because you come hell or high water, you're going to make it happen. And then from EBV, there's EBV Accelerate. Now I would say that you actually are at a point of growth, and you're on this like trajectory, depending on your business. You could be a tech or product or CPG or something like that, but you're on a trajectory of growth and strength. And then coming out of EBV Accelerate, I would say then that feeds into CEO Circle, which is a mentoring network of other CEOs at various stages of business. To get into CEO Circle, you have to have 1 million ARR, or annual recurring revenue, or have raised $5 million. So from there, it's the point is to like try to hyper growth scale you. You get put in CEOs that have either been there or they're at like 10 million. There are companies in there that are up to 100 million or over 100 million. So overall, it's a very well put together funnel structure. And just like I commented earlier, as long as you continue to put in the work and show face and build trust and build the network, the structure and processes are there to help you succeed.
And I think if I can add, the EBV program is just it's like your accelerated master's program in entrepreneurship, right? There's a lot of guidance in terms of the programming that really walks you through some of the basic requirements of having running a business, and thinking strategically, and then having the mentors associated that you can go back and tie back into as needed. So it's really starting to create that network you guys talked about earlier. And then I guess, Ariel, what I wanted to ask you, how many of the ambassadors, if you think percentage-wise, have participated at least in EBV or in any other program that you're aware of?
I think it's at 63%. 63% of our ambassadors have either been involved with IVMF, like EBV, Strive, but we also have original Bunker Labs programs that are considered alumni as well. So CEO Circle, Ambassador Program, and then the Military Founders Lab will fall under that as well. So I think we're at 63% at least.
That's awesome. And do you see the trend after, when people have more inside knowledge like we do, that they start participating also in more programs?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have, the IVMF has different conferences you can get involved with as well to help accelerate and grow. And just as being an alumni from these programs and these conferences, the networking is expanding.
Yeah. Tell me about the cost. It sounds very expensive, Ariel, right?
Yeah.
What is the cost to a veteran or a mil spouse?
Well, for all of our programming, it's no cost to our participants.
So can you say that again?
Yes, no cost for our participants. We are very strong about that. Whether it's EBV or Strive that's connected to training within a university, the ambassador program, Edge, you do have to apply to get into Edge, but these are all free opportunities for our ambassadors, for participants, our veterans and military connected families.
Maybe you can tell us just a little bit about the IVMF, how it came about. Not everybody may know about what the IVMF is and who started it, right? Why are they doing this at no cost? Ariel, can you tell us a little bit about that, just high level?
Yeah, it's just super high level. So the vision of the IVMF was to create a future where all individuals and families who serve have access to tools to make them successful once they came back. And really, our mission is to empower service members, veterans, and their families through actionable research, innovative programs, and insightful analytics to set them up for success. It was founded by the Syracuse University by Mr. Danella, and it was really created to make sure that those who have served our country, we're serving them. So that's why the free of cost is so important to us, because they have given so much to us. So we want to make sure that they have the stepping stones to be successful as well.
Yeah. And Alan, maybe we just got the opportunity to go to Syracuse. Can you talk about a little bit of the feel of Syracuse, what we experienced when we were there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I went, let me show you how dedicated they are to veterans. When I applied to EBV, I was actually living in Japan, and they flew me from Japan to Syracuse to participate in the EBV cohort, just as an indication of how dedicated they are. And looking at the campus from 2017 to when we recently visited as brand ambassadors, I mean, it was amazing. Like I forget what the building's called, the National Veteran Resource Center.
Yep.
Beautiful building. And then the programming is still good. I mean, if anything, participate in EBV for Tommy, what's his name? Tommy Kiram?
Dr. Tommy Kiram.
Yeah.
From LSU.
From LSU. This guy is.
Oh, the face?
Yeah, the face.
Yes.
Yeah. This guy is amazing. You got to hear him speak. Yeah. If nothing else, it's worth it for that.
Yeah. And I would say it definitely changed how I approached prior to running a nonprofit, how I approached my business. I definitely went there recharged, right? I found a community of veteran entrepreneurs and MilSpace entrepreneurs that I now could connect with, where before I felt like I was alone on this journey of entrepreneurship. And so IVMF definitely provided that space and the resources that I did not have to pay for because it was at no cost. And it definitely, I think it changed the game. So I want to thank you for what you do, Ariel, and IVMF, because it's really a great resource for us. And that's part of the reason why we're here today, because they charged us with, how are you going to sustain what you do in your community? And we were like, this is what we want to do. We want to, do this resource center and find community here in our city. And they said, go for it. So I think there's a lot of activation in spaces because we had that space as an ambassador to do so.
Absolutely.
So it's really wonderful. And I don't know if you want to add to that, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mental aspect of like being connected to a community is an important thing to note. When I started my tech company, I would always go to these things and hear people talk about how tough it was, and they would break down crying. And in my head, I'm thinking like, what? Being an entrepreneur is awesome. I get to do like what I love every day, talk to all kinds of new people, do cool stuff. And I didn't understand it. And at some point in my journey, though, it did click for me. I did understand. I felt isolated. I felt alone. Eventually, you get to a point where you're obsessed with something and your family doesn't understand and your friends don't understand. And like to be obsessed with accomplishing this mission is something that I think every veteran can understand and relate to. And it's just very easy to connect with veterans in that space along those lines. So whether you feel that way or not right now, it's probably going to happen at some point once you're chasing that bone long enough. So definitely just keep it in the back of your mind.
Ariel, back to the ambassador program. If we have a veteran who's watching online or here in the room is interested, what is the process to getting involved? Is there a application process? What's the vetting process? What's the duration and length of involvement? Would you tell us a little bit more about that? Absolutely.
So it is a 12-month ambassadorship. We have our applications opening up in March 2026. All are encouraged to apply. Like I talked about before, anyone with passion to building community, veteran, military connected, but you don't necessarily need to be. And the process, you'll go through a one-on-one interview with myself and a past ambassador or regional lead. Our regional leads are our ambassadors who have served for more than 3 or 4 years and are leading that region of communities. It would be a one-on-one interview, a group interview, and then you would be admitted into the cohort with an orientation that would be starting at Syracuse University, and then you'll have 12 years to serve as an ambassador. 12 months.
Okay.
Yeah, you're locked in.
That sounds like the whole job, right? 12 years. No, you're
12
fine.
months to serve as an ambassador with the option to continue for up to 3 years.
Yeah. But, even you said 12 years, I think once you become an ambassador, and I think really at heart, if you're a servant, right, and we all have served our country, and we have that at our core, you're always a servant, right? And you're always an ambassador for the community. So I think that outlives your 12 months of service. You've just had the opportunity to really connect with others who are doing the same thing and have that same mindset.
And we have other pathways in our alumni base where you can serve as a community advisor, and you're continuously available for ambassadors who are taking in this new role to serve as a mentor or just provide insights into their community, because they still reside in that city in which the ambassador is serving. And so they are always more than happy to help and be a mentor and continue to serve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the positives, right, about the ambassadorship when it comes to you personally, I think it's what you make it, because we have seen ambassadors that are now at the United Nations, right? We have some that are collaborated on business ventures. I think there's just so much upside to that in that community and tapping in. And Alan, if you can add to that, what has been the positive for you in this experience that you would say you would have not had you not participated?
Well, the MilVet thing, the pitch competition, even though as bad as that sound, I do think that's a positive experience. I'm like eternally optimistic though. So I take like lemons and just make lemonade all day. In general, just being connected to the, whether it's IVMF or various veteran entrepreneur support organizations, experience I wouldn't have had outside of that is honestly what we're doing now. Like Ariel mentioned being like well connected. I am not well connected, but you can do these programs and become well connected to people like Ariel, well connected to amazing people like Melanie, well connected to people like Tim, who runs the MilVet conference and organization, well connected to people like Henry, who's putting in the time to help us so much with the media, the man behind the camera. So that's what I would say is like, it's an incredible opportunity to not take advantage of.
Yeah. And I think it's also the opportunity to be a connector, a super connector for others, right?
Yeah.
Because you're now tapped into this whole new network and you get to bring people along and tag and connect them in, which, you know, is my favorite. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing that you get to do kind of on steroids, right?
Yeah.
You get to now cross the country, have connections that you can connect people from your community with that now, you know, which with a need they may have had that they couldn't solve for.
Yeah, it's really like a chain. Like, you know, they say in the military, I've always heard like great leaders make other leaders, right? And I think that mindset carries over to veteran entrepreneur world, where great veteran entrepreneurs create other great veteran entrepreneurs. So that's something else that you don't get, right? Like you, not only the support to pull you up, but you're like able to reach back and grab someone behind you and like create a chain and pull each other up.
Yeah. And if we think about the regionals across the country, right, we have like Nefertari Strickland of the Northeast, right, or Marco Parks in the Southeast, and we have Ryan Hunt in Chicago, and we have just Becky Gertler, you know, in Utah. Those were people we would have probably never connected with because of, you know, geography that we now know that we're tapping into and saying, hey, my community needs this. Or Henry, come from Houston for a week and help me, you know, help us put on this resource essay event. And I think that expands beyond just us having those resources.
And Jasmine from DC coming this weekend to help out even more. It's just, like I said, this is the most interconnected cohort of ambassadors. And it's amazing to see because everyone is just so willing to jump in and help each other and fly to a different city to do that work and create that even bigger impact. And it's just amazing to watch, especially as the manager of the program. This is exactly what the program was made to do.
I can also like comment, I think right now is probably the best time in a long time to be a veteran entrepreneur. You know, the federal changes, however you may think about them, you know, these contracting set-asides are changing, but one thing that's remaining, and not only at the federal level, but at the local, state level as well. But one thing that remains is the ability to have this veteran set-aside status for local federal procurement opportunities. And then plus just the myriad of resources available to you and the network, the chain, right, is we're at San Antonio Startup Week right now, and their theme is from deep roots. And our theme for vSource SA is like kind of piggybacking off of that, from a strong core or with a strong core. So from deep roots with a strong core.
And the core of the core for the male spouses, right? We do not want to forget about them because they're just as important.
Yeah, exactly. So whether it's veterans or the military connected spouses that support them, that core strength is about to be ignited in a big way across America. So this is an incredible opportunity to get involved with organizations like IVMF, like vSource in San Antonio, like the MilVet, like Supply SA,
local procurement.
Plug. No.
But they're important plugs. You don't know how you can get help, and you don't know how and who to turn to unless you hear about it. So these are important plugs to make.
Yeah. Speaking of plugs, Alan, tell me about the couple programs that you've participated in through the IVMF and any other ones that you know about.
I kind of touched on them as I spoke throughout. EBV, Entrepreneur in Residence, when they still had that, and then the brand ambassador program. I did apply to CEO Circle. I was just like shy of the requirement to get in. But that will be on my list for next year. And then, of course, a regional lead for the brand ambassador program when that opens up in March. I would apply for that. Other ones that I would recommend, I would actually like kind of going outside of the entrepreneur programs. I would look at the upskilling programs. So I don't think people think creatively enough about how they can utilize all these resources. Like whether you're an entrepreneur or you want to go get a job, IVMF has a program called Onward to Opportunity for upskilling. You could use that to go get a PMP or like a technical certification, things like that. That makes you employable. But also as an entrepreneur, they have a whole slew of certifications in there that could probably benefit you having the knowledge as an entrepreneur that you can get for free. Then you can get certified. And then if you fail as an entrepreneur, which is highly likely, you now have like some kind of certification to lean back on.
Yeah. And I think being in San Antonio, Military City, USA, right? You may be an entrepreneur that's not military connected, but you have somebody in your leadership team who's a mil spouse or a veteran. They're also eligible for some of those upskilling programs, right? They can even go to, you know, they can get in PHR, PMP. I think there's cyber certifications and other things. So I think looking at it from an angle of I'm a military connected service member or a military connected person, what does the IVMF have to offer, and how am I creative in upskilling myself or with the organization that I want to grow in?
Yeah, I mean, my company grows. So as we're a small startup right now, but as we grow and become a larger company, I'm going to I'm gonna have not preferential hiring to veterans, but I will be looking to hire veterans. I like working with veterans, and then I, take personal development of people under me very seriously. So I'll be leaning on organizations and I'll be pushing them like, hey, we hired you for this. Do you want to go learn this? Use these resources at your disposal. Like, you don't want to? Well, I don't care. You're going to go become better.
Yep.
No, I won't be that much of a slave driver. Right, Larry?
So one of my I want to touch on is VWise, the Conference for Women Entrepreneurs. I think it's 2 days. It's been a while since I've been. It's at no cost. And I really like that community of women, veteran and mil-spouse entrepreneurs. There's just something about having that community of women in a room. It's very electric. Again, it's at no cost. So they have them, I think, 4 times per year. Ariel, she's going to correct me, but those are great places to go, because we know sometimes during the slump of entrepreneurship, you really need to be connected and get this jolt of energy and some kind of spark back. And so I think those conferences, and you can go to them more than once.
Yep. I just want to make sure
yes,
you're absolutely right. There are 2 phases of VWise: all active women service members, all honorably discharged women service members, and women spouses, partners of all honorably discharged service members or active duty service members. Women-focused training program in entrepreneurship and small business management for aspiring women entrepreneurs. And it's a 6-week-long program that is concluded with a 2-day conference in select cities across the country. But it's an amazing opportunity to meet women of small businesses that are very similar to you.
And you see some amazing companies who are on the up and up and speakers. So I really did enjoy that. I also did veterans and residents. So that's kind of more local feel, but it's in your community. So those are available. And then way back when they did pre-EBV, I did kind of that pre-EBV. I know it's called something else. That's that ideation phase. And that was also very helpful and just in the next step. So.
And the Military Founders Lab, it also incorporates the BBIE, which has cohorts that are designated for specific communities. So Asian American, Pacific Islanders, Black business owners, women business owners, Hispanic, Latino business owners. So you're also in even more of a niche community as well, if that's something that you'd be looking for, the Military Founders Lab.
Awesome. So we talked about niche. Let's go back to the top of the house. How many programs does the IVMF offer? And kind of if you can give us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Ballpark, I would say about 13 to 18 different programs.
I was going to say a cajillion.
It feels like it, right?
Like, yeah.
Well, because we consider like the EDGE conference is considered a program for us.
Mhm.
So it's still an opportunity. So
Yeah.
13 to 20 opportunities and different branches in which you can get involved. So it can either be a 6-week program. It can be a 12-month volunteer opportunity as an ambassador. It can be a 10-week training program with Strive or EBV. It really ranges. So it's really important to go on the website to see what a fit would look like for you, because it's really very flexible for what you have the capacity for, what you'd be looking for. We have something for everyone.
Will you tell us what your website is? What the website is?
It is. Oh Lord, I want to make sure I get this right. Yep, ivmf.syracuse.edu.
And then
Just so you guys know, IVMF stands for Institute of Veteran Military Families. I know it sounds like a medical drug or something. But, sorry, go ahead.
That was great.
it is not a medical drug. It's not a medical.
Yeah, so ivmf.syracuse.edu. That's where you can find all information about our programs, how to apply, what is the capabilities of our programs, and any other questions that you could be led to that person who would be able to answer that.
And all your socials about, right?
Yep.
LinkedIn,
Yep.
Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
Okay. What about the MilVet?
I don't know the website off the top of my head, but if you Google the MilVet, it will pop up. I think there's another organization called just MilVet, so you got to include the, or if you do the MilVet conference, it will come up. But like I said, Tim, who runs the MilVet, along with Brandon, I believe, they're involved in multiple facets of things. So Context VC, you can also Google that. Veterans Coalition of VCs, I recommend Googling that. I want to say it's about 20 VCs that invest in veteran-owned companies. One thing we know from IVMF is that access to capital is a big issue. And then on the, I guess, like a banking side, Tim is, of course, involved in Vetrify, which is banking services for veteran-owned companies. And then he has a new initiative he's launching where the MilVet focuses on executive placement for veterans. A lot of veterans go to school. They have great experience from leadership and things like that. And now they have the education, but they're having trouble getting jobs. I can't remember what the name of that new thing is called, but if you reach out to Tim, he's very open. I suggest LinkedIn. He's very active on LinkedIn. Tim's Sai, HSIA. Just search him on LinkedIn. He's an Asian dude, Asian man. And Brandon Peterson, I believe as well, I can't remember Brandon's last name, but.
Okay. I want to turn over the questions about the programs before we talk maybe a little bit about networking and partnerships. Are there any questions in the room about the program? Any questions online?
What is the application window for the ambassador program?
The question was, what is the ambassador application window?
Yep. So it'll be open up in, I think I accidentally said March. It'll be June 2026, and it'll be open up until July 2026. That is the month period in which you can apply.
And then once you apply, how long will it take to hear something back from you guys?
Within 2 weeks, you'll be hearing back about an interview.
Okay.
Sorry. So June to July 2026.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions, Henry? Okay. All right. I want to pivot a little bit. We talked about networking. I want to talk a little bit about partnership. You touched on it a little bit, Alan, about veteran designation becoming more important given where we are in the shift and some changes from in the administration. Tell me how you look at partnership, and Ariel, and the benefit of partnership as a small business, emerging business, what piece of advice you would give others that are in a similar space that are veterans or mil spouses?
I think partnerships are incredibly important. Even if it's a partnership with like a competitor, right? you can partner with another company that does the same thing to attack a bigger piece of the pie. That seems to be something veterans are good at. Like, hey, let's get this. Whereas in the commercial sector, not so much. They're much more divided. So being able to capitalize on partnerships amongst other veterans to like attack larger pieces of the pie, whether you're a federal level or local, shouldn't matter. Teaming agreement is a teaming agreement or a partnership. It's just really a matter of clearly defining what it is you want to go after together. And in some cases, you don't have to clearly define it. If you meet someone like me, if you just tell me something that catches my passion, I'll be like, let's go get it, and I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. But yeah, I think partnerships are incredibly important. And not even outside of the veteran space, just in any space, really. Like Mihir is in the audience with us now. We've partnered with him on an initiative here in San Antonio. Without that partnership, we wouldn't have been able to launch it. It's an agentic AI upskilling program where a small cohort of veterans are going to go through and get this training. Hopefully we can expand that over time. But that wouldn't have happened without a partnership and people rowing in the same direction together.
Maybe we can elaborate on how that partnership happened, and then also have Ariel talk about some partnerships. So we were actually at the IVMF Edge conference and started speaking. We heard George speak about why aren't we utilizing agentic AI training for male spouses to allow them have a job where they can work from anywhere, because when you have to PCS somewhere, you have to often quit your job because it doesn't provide you the mobility to do your job for wherever you need to do it. And so George was really passionate about it. I was like, we could do this. And I talked to Alan, and George was like, this is a great program. I want to bring this to Supply SA. Well, we looked at it, and it wasn't a fit for Supply SA because where we were in the infancy of the nonprofit of Supply SA. So we were like, let's pivot, right? So we started partnering on like, who are the right partners to do this? And it doesn't have to be just Alan doing it by himself, or George, or me trying to figure this out, but really as a collective, we were able to figure it out and create a partnership with the city, right? And so now there's going to be a pilot, but so I think that's just how you partner. There's enough in it for everyone out here, right? The ultimate goal is to improve our community. Yes, make money, and that will come with it. But I think you can't do it with a mindset of just me, because you only have so much capacity. You only have so much trust capacity, trust buildup or trust currency and resources. So partnering is a great way of getting your dream and something over the line as a collective, right? You don't have to partner forever, but partnerships, I think, definitely are a good thing. So I want to ask you, Ariel, about partnerships, because you see them in the ambassador program, and you said you see them a lot more this year, cross country, right, where people are partnering. What are some of the things that you've seen in projects where cross partnership has really made an impact in communities? If you can give us an example or two.
Yeah, absolutely. So in Atlanta, we had Vets Fest, and they partnered with the Georgia Aquarium as well as Wolfgang Catering. So all the food was in kind, and the space. They worked with Ryan and Henry to come in to talk about opportunity. So that's Houston and Chicago coming in. We had Jasmine Rush come in to help with photography from DC. And they could have found people that was in Atlanta, but they used people within their networks to really create that veteran and military connected community for what this event was. And it really made it so rich because those people have family and friends that are in that city that they can talk to while they're in Atlanta, and provide that opportunity to back where they came from, back what city they serve in. So yeah, like you were saying, partnerships are so important, not even just for the credibility of working with another organization to kind of just validate the work that you're doing, but it's bringing in that subject matter expertise. It's bringing in those connections, that network that is going to build a overall nationwide strong community of veterans and military military connected members
Mhm.
that just are there for each other. And you can just see that. It's amazing to watch because everyone is more than willing to provide a contact, to have a conversation, to give a business card. Everyone wants to help each other, and it's amazing to watch.
Mhm. Yeah. And they have activated that community in Atlanta. That community is bought in, right? When you look at their leadership in the city and different organization, they've really been able to build something great. This annual Vets Fest that they put on to support their military community. And I think, I mean, why couldn't we do it here in San Antonio, right?
They
Shout
had
out to
500 people come to that event.
Yes, they did. And it was, I mean, it was amazing.
And not just people from Atlanta.
That's
There are
right.
people that flew in from across the country to be a part of Vets Fest.
That's right. Yeah. So that's awesome. And I see you thinking, Alan. That means you have something to add. Go ahead.
No.
please.
This is like, I need to look like I'm thinking. No, I don't have anything. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm just relishing in the, in it. You know, it's good to hear stories like that.
Yeah. And I think Veteran Social Summit was a while ago, right? And that's an online forum where Ryan, again, Chicago, and Henry put on this event that was virtual for the military connected community to plug in. And again, ambassadors from all over the country participated.
Spoke at it, yeah.
Mhm.
How many people, Henry?
1,200.
1,200.
1,200. So look out for that one next year again. Are you guys doing it again next year? Veteran Social Summit. You don't have to travel. You can do that from your home, right? Right in your living room or your office and see what resources and what subject matter expertise is provided through that forum. So there is a lot of things that are happening that I'm excited about in the community. And we can do the same here, right? Across the country and here in San Antonio, Military City, USA. So I don't know how we're doing with time. We're doing okay. If you, Ariel, if there was a quick pitch, why do the ambassador program? We talked about it a lot already, network connection. Can you touch on the learning that the ambassadors, right? When we have our fly-in, you guys invest in some time for us to learn and grow. Can you talk maybe a little bit about that, the thought behind that?
Yeah, so in our past fly-ins, we bring in subject matter expertise and guest speakers to talk through a variety of things. This last fly-in, we had Tom talk about, what was the face?
I don't remember how you worded it. You
It's
know,
your still.
Oh my gosh.
I would just,
now
your
I
still
can't think
face.
of it.
What your still face looks like and how that shows up to other people when you're having conversations.
Oh my god, I should know
So
this.
it was more of a personal marketing, but then we did have a conversation about storytelling for your organization, for your communities, and how to do that successfully in terms of sharing these partnerships and sharing these successful events and how to storytell that in online, in your socials, in your talking points. So we provide subject matter expertise in that way. We also bring in other guest speakers that can speak to access to capital. In our panels, we have people talk to access to capital. We have people talk about networking and building local partnerships and national partnerships. It really ranges, but really it tries to hone in on the responsibilities as an ambassador and what it would take to be successful. And we try to bring in those people to help inform that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Awesome. And Alan, when you think about what we're going to try to do here in this community, what are you most excited about for Resource SA? And this is a question that I'm just throwing at you right now, and I'm going to get your thoughts publicly and see where we go and how to execute that later.
I'm taking
Okay.
notes.
What I'm most excited for is actually the system that we're building, not just with Vsource SA, but with Supply SA. So Vsource SA, this kind of readiness services and consultancy type to get veteran-owned businesses up and cleaned up the level of readiness, and then eventually plugging them into Supply SA for local procurement opportunities, and then taking that model once we have it refined and spearheading it into other cities, ideally other cities with high active duty reserve and guard populations, to really capitalize on across all caveats of each initiative. So those would be like cities like LA, Raleigh, North Carolina, things like that. So eventually, like I said, from deep roots with a strong core and taking what we're building here and strengthening the core across other cities.
Yeah.
I really think we're on just at the starting line of what's the word? A renaissance of veteran entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love the connection, right? And I think we have a strong opportunity with Supply SA where we are really, these local agencies here are looking to grow local and small businesses, and veteran-owned businesses or male spouse owned businesses are part of that target market to be able to pull you out from the community where you are into a community here for readiness and community and support and networking and training to then have you ready to do local contracting. I think as veterans or, having served, we know how to follow a process. That's not hard for us. We just have to be able to understand the process, and Supply SA will help do that. So I think I'm excited for not just the connection between Resource SA and Supply SA, but also an A2B connection, right, that we made where they're looking for products from veteran-owned small businesses or other opportunities in the community where we connect our small businesses that are veteran and male spouses, or even active duty. You're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. Can you plug in not 6 months or 6 weeks before you ETS? Can you plug in 2 years prior to be ready? And having those connections with local infrastructure like banking and insurance and just things that an entrepreneur needs to be able to move the business forward. So I just feel like this could be a really good hub activation place, community for
Not could be, will be.
Will be. That's
Will
right.
be.
Will be a good community.
Is and will continue to be.
And we will need you guys to participate. If you are in this community and you're a veteran or male spouse entrepreneur, connect with us, because it will take a village, not just Alan and I and Henry and others. It will take a village. But I think this is a start to a great thing here in San Antonio.
Absolutely.
So I am super excited. Well, we are at time. Thank you so much, Ariel, for being here today. I know you flew all over the world to come and be with us today. So thank you for being with us. And then Alan.
I'm just here, right?
You're just here. No, we're both just here. Thank you so much. Can we give it up for them? And just a small sign of our appreciation. Ariel, thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Alan, we're
Aw.
right and done. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You can